Hey guys, welcome back yet again to the BSL Season 20. We've had such a crazy run of games here tonight, Machine, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been excellent top to bottom, right? Got to kick off with uh, you know, such a Zerg as like striker. Obviously, Zeke versus Boneth, always a matchup you love to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're finally down to the final match of the night here, and it's going to be cRoSs versus UltrA here in the winner bracket finals.
I'm super excited for this. Crossy is such a, an intellectual Zerg. I don't know how else to put it. He's very thoughtful in his process and able to dispatch Terrans in interesting ways. I remember when he used to go crazy Zerg back in the day, he came up with some, creative ideas of like, utilizing queens of ensnare, for example, to slow down the bio bust timing. So that usual like 12-minute 2-1 sunken bust timing before the ultras come out. Just little things like that, little nuanced things that kind of set some Zergs apart from the rest of them. And that affinity for queens will come and pay dividends against any kind of tech style that Ultra wants to go for here.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, affinity for queens, incredible top tier muted control as you'd expect from, all these top four and Zergs. And then the willingness to basically take a build order disadvantage early to force opponents into a longer game with him. Like he is a Zerg we've seen time and time again open 11 pool versus Terran in particular, either 11 pool or even over pool occasionally. And just he's so strong that he can play his way out of it. It's
Yeah.
really exceptional and not something you're used to seeing, at least at the foreign level, very often.
Right. You're kind of talking about something like Sulky likes to do a lot, right? Where like he'll play from behind deliberately and just make himself like either really safe if he needs to or what have
Yep.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, loves that 11 pool opener. Um, But yeah, with that, folks, we are ready to go here into game number one, which is going to be on Radeon. So let's jump into Medinho versus Cross, or Ultra versus Cross. Alrighty, spawning top right side as the blue Terran from South America. It is Soul T Ultra.
And his opponent in the top left, it's Ultra. Kind of an interesting Terran I've been kind of having my eyes on recently. He can play very solid sometimes.
Yeah, he really can. I mean, I faced off against him at the what was it? The LA land prior to COVID, basically breaking everything up. He actually was the one to take me out of winners bracket, man. Like he's just such a strong player. Loves his mech switches, but can play, just standard one racks expo into bio as well. Just another one of those Terrans that can kind of do it all here. I'm not sure really who folks would consider to be the favorite out of these two. I'm expecting it to be pretty close.
Yeah, my bad, guys. I meant Crossy in the top left, Ultra in the top right. Crossy from Canada, Ultra from Chile. I'll be curious to see what these two players want to go for here. I used to be a big fan of that 11 pool style, but it does seem like it's fallen out of favor for the time being, at least, because he's going for a 12 hatch.
Yeah, 12 hatch, I mean, just kind of the standard opener for this matchup. You really need to maximize your droning wherever possible versus Terran. Terran probably the least mobile of the three races early on. It's really a big committal anytime you see Terrans moving across the map with, sizable force of Marine SCV. So not something you're likely to see as often, but it sure does happen.
Yeah.
Ross needs to be pretty, or has to be pretty pleased to know he's gonna end up scouting with his first Overlord here towards the top right side.
Yeah, and it's going to be a Rax FE from Ultra here. Didn't elect to get this wall in. A lot of Terran players these days really want to get that wall in going and trying to exploit being able to cut Marines or at least, thwart Zergling attacks easier in the early game, but seems to be wanting to hedge his bets and play a little bit more orthodox and stay as standard as possible here. Maybe taking a very normal approach to the game, not even skipping over Marines here, going into 2 Marines before the CC.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised cRoSs isn't moving in closer with that first Overlord. It's kind of not even really close to the edge when it's completely safe over this natural here. He doesn't really have vision of anything. I'm a little surprised by that. There we
He's
go.
gonna check now. Okay. And he will be able to figure out that that's a very standard timing CC based on the HP and timing, and he will know that even if he didn't spot those Marines, that there was something produced at that time. Sometimes Terran players can get that about 10 or so seconds earlier if they do skip over those Marines, but he's playing super solid and wants to get a high count of Marines as soon as possible. Does lose that SCV though in the main. That's a pretty big win. I'm not sure if the residual vision would have identified that 2.5 hatchery going down, but with the drone coming off the line, he might be able to imagine that it was for a hatchery.
I was thinking the same thing by having that drone there. Yeah, cRoSs is definitely one of the Zergs that still favors that 2.5 hatch style of play, which I feel like was more in last season of ASL. We didn't really see it at all this season. But,
right. I mean, there's a reason for that, right? Like tech timings are so tight at the pro level, and like, you know, sacrificing a few seconds to play more economically focused, you know, does hurt you a little bit. And players like Hero did get eliminated earlier on than usual as action as well. So there weren't really that many high caliber of Zergs across the board to keep things fresh and with high variety. So all these teched out players like Sulky and what have you, optimizing for razor thin windows, trying to come in here with his Zerglings right now, but not being too successful. Is cRoSs just checking what's what and sees no bunker. Critically UltrA skipping over making any kind of defenses additionally, just going straight into enough forces to move out at the 5-minute mark, and he had to skip over the bunker is a pretty big win for Terran.
look at the worker count, by the way. This is Zerg versus Terran, and I mean it's 21 workers now with the 2 Sunkens to the 24 of UltrA. UltrA, it feels like it's absolutely cutting workers, and cRoSs might just make him pay for it.
I mean, he doesn't have to go up this ramp where the 5-bats are. He can just deny mining with those Zerglings. That's a really big win for him. Second Sunken's on the way, but it's not quite finishing time. If he stims and goes right now, he could punish this Sunken.
Could be close here. I believe, yeah, he's not quite going to be in time. There were flanking Zerglings to try to help out as well. But the Muta production has begun here for cRoSs.
Yeah. I mean, this looks really good for cRoSs here. UltrA needs to be careful with these bar units out on the map. They could get flanked by Zerglings on either side. More and more. That's crazy. He's stomping out the turret timing. Some Lings going into the main base. He tries to get a cancel on the second turret, unable to do so, but the 2 Lings getting into the main base is a little bit into a nightmare. He's trying to slow down these turrets. Does kill the SCV, but that turret. This is crazy what we're seeing, Machine.
Yeah, this is really high level play. Oh, that medic is so low. I thought he was going to get the medic too.
Me too.
More and more SCVs continue to fall here for UltrA. It looks like the turrets will complete in time, but I mean, not before some key damage has really been done. And actually,
he's just gonna fly over.
He's gonna run by with 4 Muta.
There's nothing in the main. I mean, most Terran players obviously will prioritize turret production towards their opponent, so the main has kind of been slacked a little bit in its timings. Has got enough Marines to start gunning down these 2 Mutas in transit. Does kill 2 of them. Only 4 Mutas here. Can't one-shot Marines unless they're stimmed, and struggles to kill SCVs without 2 volleying them down, but does do so much economic damage despite only having 4 Mutas there.
Yeah, he did lose 2 rallying in Mutas for his efforts, so you know, maybe could have just pulled those back and done a little better, but still big damage being done from cRoSs. Now he's got that magic 7 Muta number, should begin to start one-shotting these SCVs at the natural mineral line.
Whoa. I mean, that's monstrous. I mean, generally speaking, as a Zerg, you only need to kill like maybe 6 or so SCVs to play a normal macro game against something like this, but he's done more than that amount of damage, and he's still icing his cake as he goes forward. I didn't realize he was such an adept baker.
Yeah, man, he's definitely got the recipe down here, for sure. We got more and more Mutas starting to trail in here. from cRoSs. Looks like Ultra's kind of decided to concede the map and really just stay in the main and natural, and I don't really necessarily blame him.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of has to, right? Usually the Terran player can threaten counterattacks with this Bioforce being here. But at this point, it can't even really do that. Like, he's kind of just having to keep away with the mutas and keep running the Marines back, and cRoSs even forcing out a stim. There's only 2 medics here, so the energy reserves on those will be depleted if he keeps stimming like that. But it looks like cRoSs wants to clean this up with some Mutalings, Sulky-esque style. A little bit of a miscoordination with those Zerglings, though, might make him slow down in that. But now finally pulls the trigger and trying to get on top of those barriers. So many falling by the way, so 2 Firebats coming in to try and save the day. cRoSs, though, beautifully pulling back the Zerglings here while the Mutas target fire down those Firebats. Really efficient trading so far from the Zerg.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't even really need to commit here. Oh man, he does get the Firebat and
this is crazy. He has no bunker, so the problem now is that the Mutas can fly into the main while the Lings stab into the natural, and there's no bunker to cover these turrets from being stabbed by the Zerglings. So if cRoSs wants to, he could continue to be aggressive.
True. Man, look at that SCV count, the natural here for Ultra. It is, I mean, super dire for him at the moment. We're seeing worker count still pretty much even between these two.
Yeah, it looks like cRoSs decides to change up careers and become a barber and just going to be shaving a little bit off the top here and there, keeping the haircut nice and lined up for him to deal with later.
Yeah, it's definitely going well. I mean, despite the 2.5 hatch opener, cRoSs has been able to secure that earlier third. Seems to be in the commanding lead here. You know, he could kind of continue to pressure here with the muted count, but I'm assuming he's likely already on his way to Hive here and getting Lurker as well.
Yeah. I mean, this is such a good position for Zerg. He actually doesn't need a 3rd base. If he wanted to, he could stay 2 base and, you know, go for a kill move with like a Lurker container to defy the play. But he's doing so well, he can kind of have it all. You know, he can kind of expand as well as rushing into Hive and kind of play to his heart's content here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at the amount of gas he's been able to stack up. 1,100 gas, you know, before Hive. He just hasn't had to make more muta because what he's made has been sufficient. Meanwhile, Ultra is just trying to spam out as many Marines as he can possibly hang on to, which has not been much so far.
Right. I mean, I have to wonder, is Ultra going to start pulling out mech play after this game #1? Because his bio doesn't seem sufficient enough to keep up with the absolute mental shenanigans of cRoSs, who's been playing almost like at a semi-pro level with some of these early game task switching abilities.
I mean, that's a good call out, Sean. I don't know. This might deter me from opening bio again, to be honest with you. cRoSs is just proven he's very adept at handling it.
Yeah, seems so. And look at the Ling run by as well. The Mutaling stab international. Again, no bunker to defend this. He has to pull back his bio to respond. There's also Sunkens back at home, so the counterattack's not much of a threat. Gets all the way into the main base with these Zerglings. You can start to get these Mutalists into annoying pockets to exploit and kill these Marines, or just rotate around to the ramp as well. That's going to be, oh, look at this. This is crazy. Good patrol micro while the Mutas are on transit as well to make sure he guarantees shots on those Marines as he tries to get to safety. And look at the massive Lurker move out now. He's going to potentially set up a kill move here. Lurkers to contain the Terran, with Defilers and Darkswarm going to be on the way in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's just too many Lurkers for Ultra to handle at this point. Fortunately, he's got the first 2 Science Vessels out. But yeah, this is a big Lurker line.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's got to start irradiating some of these Lurkers and slowly work his way out. Ooh, nice irradiate on his Muta, though. Ooh. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Not like this, cRoSs. A little bit too distracted back at home, hitting all of his beats, and does lose pretty much every single Mutalisk in the sky but 1 or 2. I mean, he's still in a very commanding position, but that does kind of open up the map a little bit now for Ultra to get some kind of presence.
Yeah, finally something going Ultra's way. I'll say, you know, that much. Still, though, I mean, Defilers are right around the corner here. It's only a couple vessels so far, and that is a lot of Lurkers for this point in the game. If he's able to just hit any kind of a Defiler, Ling, Lurker timing, yeah. I don't know how Ultra will possibly be able to defend it. But we're
I think
actually seeing, yeah, cRoSs is backing up.
Well, I think if his Defiler Mound was more crisply timed, he would have just contained with the lurkers and not worry about a few irradiates coming out here and there. But because his Defiler Mound was a little bit slow, I think he wanted to kind of try and, like, you know, guarantee the game state and not take any risks. And he's pulled everything back, and he's going to just play a normal standard Terran versus Zerg game, despite being in a very commanding lead. Like, he's playing it like he's not in a lead, which actually might be really good here, because there might not be any window for UltrA to get some damage done.
Yeah, it really seems like that. He's done a great job using the Nidus to hide his first Defiler, is securing a 4th base at the same time. These vessels are really the biggest threat that he's got to deal with at the moment. And there we go, first Irradiate going down. That will force, yeah, Dark Swarm to be laid out here at cRoSs's 4th, but still, there's nothing preventing cRoSs from securing yet an additional base.
Yeah, I mean, getting the 4th gas online is like, I mean, you know, as a Zerg player, that's the money right there. So when you get 4th gas online, then you can really start to churn out not only Scourge and Defilers, but getting into Ultralisks as well eventually. We will be making that Ultralisk cavern in a few moments here, about to start upgrading that chitinous plating, no doubt. Ultras are basically the end goal of Zerg versus Terran. It's just a matter of how you get there. That's a factor. You can either do that in Crazy Zerg and leapfrog straight to it, utilizing Mutalisk map control and micro to do so, or you can play a much more orthodox style like this, transitioning from mutas to lurkers into Defilers and eventually that critical Ultralisk unit. But the end goal is always the same. Getting that Ultralisk out is so important.
It's so important. I mean, just as important as the Ultras are Plague as well, particularly against Bio. I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing Zerg start sharking for big Plagues on this Bioforce, but hold that. We have a double dropship moving in here. It looks like UltrA going to elevator some units into the 4th base. Fortunately, cRoSs is prepared for this.
Yeah, Plague and Dark Swarm combo going down. And that will make it even easier to chew through this Terran force. And this is still just 1-1 bio, so the longer this goes on, the more problematic it will be. There will not be a timing window to exploit, I don't think. Depends on how slow the carapace upgrade was. If there's a small window where there's +2 versus +1 armor, then maybe he can try and make something work. But if the carapace upgrade is even remotely close to the +2 weapons upgrade finishing, he's going to be in a lot of pain for the rest of the game.
Yeah, even once, you know, the Ultra Armor kicks online here, this bio is going to begin not trading very well. Nice drop here, though. Again, UltrA, despite being behind, he's really just staying all over the map with big timings like this. So, yeah, even gets quite a few drone kills, Scourge kills here before that Lurker Spine ends up hitting. I mean, he's constantly putting pressure on bottom left now. Ooh, he's got to watch these vessels, though.
You can't be losing vessels for free like this. I mean, this is kind of the only thing he's got to leverage in this game. You can even make the argument that vessels are the main force of the Terran army and the Marines are more like supporting units. Beautiful Dark Swarms trying to shut this down, but they're rotating around to the mineral only, trying to put a lot of pressure onto cRoSs now and see if he can get a snipe on this hatchery maybe as well. But cRoSs has enough energy to keep the train of the dark clouds coming down over the day of UltrA and trying to snuff him out in this game. Target fire comes down onto that hatchery, has to go back onto attack move to clear the lings, but he might still get this hatchery, and if he can get an unload on this Nidus and kill it, that could be a potentially game-winning move.
No way, how's he doing this? 4th base
This is crazy.
Another nice drop onto the 3rd base. Fortunately, there still are a Defiler and multiple Lurkers still alive. But, I mean, UltrA's putting himself in a position to do some significant damage so far.
Yeah, I mean, UltrA must be a gambling man, because these Lotto dropships are pulling himself forward in this game more and more as time goes on. He has the 3rd base churning away. He needs to keep shutting down these bases from cRoSs so we can't get full active gases. cRoSs, though, does have this bottom right pocket to make up for the loss and compensate and get potentially another 4th gas online elsewhere. Counterattack of Zerglings at the natural 3rd of the Terran should be dealt with by UltrA. Does manage to get out there with most of those Zerglings intact, but really great play from UltrA to put himself back in the game.
Definitely. I mean, great play from cRoSs too, though. He's, you know, while that was all going on, he was securing an additional base bottom right. There's no way UltrA has to be suspecting that at this point. Looks like he's going to be resecuring. Oh, I jinxed it. He scans it immediately after I said it. That's insane. So that's going to be another dead base yet again here. Bottom right.
The curse of the cast constantly striking you, it seems, today, Machine. Be careful what you say. You might be in control of things more than you know.
Yeah, you could be right, man. Boy. Well, this is going to fall pretty quickly here. Oh, there is a Nidus up, but yeah, not quite able to get a Defiler through.
Again, you spoke too soon. The Nidus is up, then it's dead.
Yeah.
He does shut that down pretty quickly. Does manage to start taking out his base in the bottom right. I don't think he's successful in saving that, so he's instead going to go for a counterattack at the natural third of the Terran. Meanwhile, UltrA trying to leapfrog ahead, taking a fourth base of his own in the natural third location. The bottom right quadrant of the map has to evacuate the natural third as well. cRoSs sending more and more UltraLing downtown, trying to keep everything going his way. Keeps the tempo swinging in his favor and trying to put a lot of pressure into the Terran. And now with the Ultras in the face of the bio, the radiated Ultras acting as a kind of double-edged sword, helping chew through the Terran bio with that splash damage, making it very challenging for him to resecure his own economy now.
Yeah, this is going to be a big problem here for UltrA. He absolutely has to continue mining this third base, or the game will fall out of his grasp. Still though, big, another Defiler UltrA timing coming in here. It's kind of constant pressure from now on from cRoSs. He's finally got that UltrA speed. Upgrades have been in his favor. And he's really pressing the action.
Yeah, I mean, he great irradiates to kind of, you know, stop these Ultras from being too much of a thorn in his side. They do have what's that monster of a plague? They do have 4-1 upgrades. Terran kind of slowing down his own upgrade path a little bit in this game. Does now finally have that 3-3 critically. So has a bit of a timing window now where he's actually trading pretty efficiently versus the Zerg. That will eventually close on him as the seconds tick by. But for the time being, he can start to fight against these Ultras if he can muster enough critical mass of bio to do so.
Yeah, I mean, he has been non-stop producing. UltrA's been keeping the money quite low despite being on the 3 bases. Vessel count still looks healthy. You know, we're seeing another big SCV transfer there for UltrA, but I mean, pretty soon time's up. You've got to be securing that 4th base, or at least denying Zerg 4th and 5th. You know, one or the other's got to happen here.
Right, another beautiful play coming down onto those vessels. Eventually you don't have enough lava and gas to keep making Scourge, so you eventually just start, you know, plaguing the vessels and killing them efficiently that way. Certainly doing a pretty good job of that right now. So many vessels falling by the way, so I think 3 or so left remaining. Has enough Defilers down here to keep Dark Swarming and protecting himself while trying to get another base online. And yeah, without that 4th gas for UltrA, there's no real transition here. He's got the triple starports, but you know, no BCs on the way, no like, you know, tank transition, no nothing. It's just pretty much SK Terran pure. Unless he executes a kill order very soon, he's going to eventually, you know, fall by the wayside in the trading efficiency once these Zerg upgrades come fully online.
Yeah, he's really got to get BC tech or start transitioning somehow. I mean, the later this game goes and the more plagues are available, the worse off bio really is in this matchup, especially versus 5-3 Ultras. We're almost there.
Yeah, I mean, 5-2 is already good enough. He's still going to be, like, you know, 2-shotting those Marines with the Kaiser Blades of those Ultralisks, and already starting to feel the difference now. It's no longer 4-1 Ultras that he's fighting against, so has lost that timing window to punish cRoSs here, and wasn't able to deter more gas expansions being controlled or securing his own gas expansion. He's basically all in at this point, trying to somehow break through this bottom left against so many Defilers, and this Mutalisk is going to be killing a lot of these vessels that were played.
Yeah, great control here, getting just the most value possible out of these Defilers. Yeah, as you said, killing off all plague vessels as well. I mean, really, this is slowly but surely turning into cRoSs' favor.
I mean, it really does seem like that. I don't think there's much counterplay left remaining for Ultra now. He was kind of gambling on finishing the job in the bottom left and wasn't able to do so. Now the writing is on the wall for the Terran. He's got a small contingency of bio here trying to contain the threat, the natural rally point of cRoSs, but with Nidus canals already set up, it's not really going to amount to much anyway. If it was successful, big drone transfers trying to get out onto the map. You might be able to intercept that and kill the majority of those drones. There's a tiny little victory here for Ultra so far. Can he break through? There's no Defiler here to support. There is a tiny window. Potentially he could break this Zerg at the last hour.
Yeah, it's going to be close here, but there are Lurker and Ultras coming down there. Good focus firing, though, from Ultra. Does target down those Lurkers, which, I mean, would have dealt so much damage. And he's able to get a position behind the middle here. This is so annoying for poor cRoSs.
Yeah, I mean, he has to, like, manually target these medics now with the Ultras. Really good Zerg can handle manually controlling his Ultras, but in a lot of these situations, it's better to just power up your map. Oh, he's got irradiated Ultras in his own mineral line. I hope he's not killing too many of his own drones. Seems like he noticed and got them out of there. Doesn't lose too many of those. Seems like just barely has held the line against Ultras all in attack, and now should be able to snuff out the Terran player without too much sweat.
Yeah, he's taken a significant supply lead. Never a good sign if you're a Terran player. Yeah, I mean, 5th gas even. It's got maxed out upgrades, and it's still just bio from Ultra here.
Yeah, I don't think there's much more counterplay available to Ultra in this game without some kind of crazy eraser trick killing all the drones or something. There is a Nidus canal to retreat to if something like that did come down. Might be some attempts here from Ultra in his death throes, at least to tax the attention of cRoSs and maybe tire him out a little bit. Although both players do have to kind of play out of their minds when you're playing this kind of game plan. So SK Terran's very execution orientated, so he's only tiring himself out if he keeps this up.
For sure. Nice splitting here from Ultra, just only going to allow Plague to affect 2 of the vessels. Clearing out the Defilers yet again. But not before, I mean, taking some pretty big damage himself.
Yeah.
There's just no force to back these up.
Right, I mean, usually as a caster, it's our job to kind of like point out all the tiny little chances that a guy's got of coming back. But in situations like this, there's just no 4th base for the Terran player to leverage. Like, the Zerg kind of has to blunder to lose this game. There is still obviously a chance that he suicides his units or, you know, gets caught out of position or something. But short of major mistakes, cRoSs should be able to close this game out.
We're seeing Ultra move and commit across the map here. 4 vessels heavily damaged, as well as a sizable chunk of bio. What? Oh man, what a plague there! I mean, that's gonna immediately force Ultra to turn around. There's just no way.
If this was a YouTube video, that'd be the thumbnail. That plague was absolutely insane machine, and that's just going to make these Marines all the more tasty to gobble up and add to the biomass of the Zerg. GG is called, and game 1 going to cRoSs.
Yeah, well done there from cRoSs. You know, well done from Ultra as well. I mean, he was definitely in it. I like the early survival versus the beta control, but it's kind of hard to say like that cRoSs wasn't dominant even from the start of this one.
Yeah,
well,
he definitely seemed superior. Yeah, his play was really exceptional. I'm excited to see what more he's got in store for us. Let's jump right into it, guys, on game number 2 on Polestar.
And spawning bottom right side of Polestar. As the blue Terran, once again, we have Sol T Ultra.
And his opponent in the top left, it's cRoSs, currently enjoying a 1-0 lead.
Well, we do get to see cross map. I love seeing this style.
cRoSs cross map?
Yeah, cRoSs cross map, just the latest game possible. At least I hope so.
Well, you never know. You can sometimes use the fact that you're a cross map to obfuscate your intentions, and sometimes people think they're super safe when really there is a cheese coming your way. It's just a well-hidden cheese.
True, true. I mean, we saw the bio opener from Ultra last game. What do you think the possibilities of seeing mech are here?
I mean, Polestar's not necessarily the best map for mech, but it's pretty good. I mean, you've got a very easy to secure third gas, so I think there's not much reason not to. There's just I don't think he's going to do something like a 5-fact Goliath style of mech. I think it'd be a much more teched out mech style.
Okay, like later tech mech? Like
yeah.
Okay.
I even
Very
think maybe a
possible.
bio transition into mech would be an idea here, and do a little bit of a mines into mech transition after using bio initially.
Always a possibility. Pretty strong way to play it too, especially with first what we saw from Ultra, late game last game. Like obviously there was no back late game, but love getting those mine connects off versus Ultralisk Zergling.
Oh yeah.
Just softens everything up.
I mean, to be fair though, it is a very hard thing to execute. Like mech transition is super strong. It's just very difficult to pull off. So I don't necessarily expect it, but I would like to see it.
For sure. This looks like it's going to be another 2.5 hatch from cRoSs, building those additional 12 drone pool, 12 drone gas. So
it definitely does seem like that.
He favors it a lot when not a lot of other foreign Zergs, just besides maybe like Hawk Striker, they play a lot of 2.5 hatch.
I mean, he's skipping over them. Oh, okay, he did get the Marine, so it's not too bad. I was worried for a second that he might have to delay building the CC for at least a few seconds, but the Marine was well timed enough to stop that from occurring. And inversely, we see the SCV scout starting to be chased. I mean, this is pretty aggressive to chase down the SCV like this, but it can be annoying for the Terran not to know exactly what the Zerg's doing if they can kick that SCV scout out.
It just takes a lot of focus, a lot of control early on. You don't see a ton of foreigners do it, but at the highest levels in Korea, you always see it.
Yeah.
It's just, one of those difficult to execute things. You'd almost rather just build 2 Zerglings and shut your brain off and forget about it,
But it is arguably the most optimal way of playing. Like assuming perfect control, that's the way you want to play every single time. It's just that it's so taxing to do so.
For sure. Well, we're probably about to see that third hatchery here. Looks like cRoSs gonna cut it pretty close, but I think that Overlord's fine.
He's okay. Yeah, just barely. He won't be able to get that down to more than 100, I think. Like, just barely get that down to under 100, then it should be safe. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he's all right for now. Ooh, SCV Scout moving out once again. So far, cRoSs has been able to hide the fact that this is 2.5 hatch. Academy underway here for Ultra. Looks like he's likely just gonna go for some type of stim timing, although it is cross map. Normally you'd see it. You'd prefer to go Academy if you knew it was close.
Right. But as we talked about, sometimes the fact that it isn't close spawns does sometimes make the other player a little bit complacent. So we might see like a late sunken timing here from cRoSs that can be exploited still. And we see that the higher level of play you get, the more that becomes a factor where you obfuscate your range of play based on the assumptions made by the other guy.
True. We also don't see Zergling speed out of cRoSs yet, so he's really trying to optimize his build to... Oh, there we go, just finished. I was gonna say maybe he's trying to squeeze out an additional Buta, but nope, it's just later Zergling speed.
I mean, I try and do that. I rarely make Zergling speed unless I want to get a little bit cheesy. I love that extra Mutalisk.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Notice it hasn't been popular in ASL lately. Everyone's getting the early Zergling speed.
Yeah, I think it's because of how much pressure it represents to the Terran with the Ling run by. You can sometimes get away with very little sunkens being made back at home, and maybe just optimizing that drone economy by doing so seems to be more superior.
Wow, gets a fire bat for 1 Zergling there. Nice pickup.
I mean, the 2 sunkens are crisply timed, and Ultra's trying to punish a greedy third base location. Sometimes Zerg will take a very quick on location third, but this is a regular 2.5 hatchery with no third on location. so unable to get the value he was looking for there.
Ultra knows it, though. He has recognized it finally with the scan, and I like that he's immediately pulling back with the Bioforce. So I don't think cRoSs is really going to be able to take advantage of bad unit positioning here for Ultra.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, so far so good, but losing one Marine, a little bit annoying. As long as he doesn't lose anything more. Sometimes, though, you need to be really on top of your Mutalisk control. You don't ever be lazy and keep these muters moving non-stop. Sometimes the Terran can jump on you and catch one of your muters in transit that's rallied in to help support the ones that are harassing you. Does manage to fly in now with 7. He's on top of the mineral line in the main, so that's one-shotting down these SCVs. Talked about before in a previous game, you need to be like 6 or so kills on the SCVs to feel in a comfortable spot. Hasn't yet found that much damage, but it's a good start despite taking 2 of these muters down to red HP.
Yeah, he did force Ultra to kind of pull back a little bit. That must be annoying. You know, does get a couple SCVs for his efforts, but 2 of those mutas, as you said, are quite weak. He's really going to have to back up here and gather some additional units before he can really spar this force of Ultra.
Yeah, if he had more Mutalisks in the wings, he could, cycle out these low HP ones and let them regenerate and replace them with high ones. But at this point in the game, you need just, a massive flock of Mutas to stop the Terran in their tracks. So he does manage to pick off one of those Mutalisks as a result. I think he just scanned the third base, didn't he? The 9 o'clock, I think.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I think he did. Yeah. Now he sees the exact timing of that. It's a really good scan.
Oh, yeah, that's great. I mean, ideal. He knows exactly where he needs to start marching towards. However, I mean, cRoSs trying to keep him preoccupied, taking out a couple of these turrets inside the natural mineral line of Ultra. Now Ultra's kind of forced to babysit some SCVs here. Actually, no, he's not. He's just going for it.
He's playing like Flash right now. Just deal with it with your rallied units and the rest just push. Hopefully he can make it happen, because there is a chance here where not only are these Marines shut down by Lings, that he would lose a lot of SCVs still, but it seems like he's been able to do a good job at killing those Zerglings off, and now we'll get a kill on that third base. Does lose a lot of these SCVs back at home. That's already pretty critical damage. The Zerg in a very comfortable position economically speaking, but the Terran does have a lot of army in total.
Yeah, I'm having a tough time calling this one, honestly. Like, in one way, cRoSs is dealing eco damage at that natural. It's kind of forcing any other pressure from Ultra, to be halted, but at the same time, a third base for Zerg is just about the biggest thing you could ask for in this matchup. You just 1000% have to get a third base. Everybody knows it's really difficult to do so, especially versus this early mid-game bio pressure from Terran. Ultra has basically put cRoSs on a clock here. If cRoSs does not get a third base here like very soon, this is game over.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not like he's doing a 2-base Defiler all in or something. He's just pretty much straight up Mutalisk production in 2 bases. Now throwing down the Queen's Nest quite belatedly. Here's the third hatchery now going up in the top right. He needs to control these Mutas to the best of his ability and shut down the bio really effectively, utilizing this mid-tier units. And he is doing a good job thus far. Science facility currently underway, so I would say Ultra's ahead in tech and economy overall, despite losing so many SCVs. But needs to make sure he maintains his unit control, because the Mutalists could do a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah, I mean, they really are starting to here. We're seeing great control as expected from cRoSs. Still though, Ultra, I mean, he's been continually producing SCVs. His economy is kind of back on rails for the moment. But man, look at his control.
This is insane.
He just doesn't look away. Like, you can tell, like, Ultra's definitely doing other things, and cRoSs will just come in.
Well, can we just... I just want to quickly say, like, the hardest thing about playing bio as Terran is not being able to look away from your bio. And the problem is that most Terran players want to look away, and they can't afford to keep their attention on it 24/7. And a good Zerg is just waiting to pounce non-stop, baiting out stims at the bare minimum, waiting for 10 seconds and diving in again, sometimes even diving in anyway if they think you're not looking.
For sure. At least, again, Ultra has been on point with the scans, sees the top right third base of cRoSs. So, I mean, it's a throwdown now. Ultra's going to charge to the top right side of the map, and it's up to cRoSs to prevent it.
I don't think he has enough energy to do so, you know. I think he's been stim baited so much that all these medics are depleted.
There's not many mutas left either from cRoSs, and he's pretty much been on mostly drone production. Okay, I guess he's got 9 actually. That's not too bad. But
Yeah,
once Irradiate pops out here, yeah, it's going to be UltrA taking map control mid game. Still though,
yeah.
Lurker almost done.
He's got a few.
Yep.
I was gonna say he's got a few seconds to the Lurker tech isn't finished, and then just has to wait another minute or so until he gets all those Lurkers hatched out and in position. Oh, that's a beautiful Irradiate. He's not splitting up.
Oh no, yeah, you never want to see it like this. Irradiate, such a strong spell in this matchup. Fortunately, he does have the Lurkers morphing. He's got a Nidus up there, and he's done what he can to kind of wall off, you know, with the eggs here. So it will delay at least until some of these Lurkers have completed.
Yeah, I mean, this is maybe an opportunity here to break up. I just don't think it's going to work with the ones in the back finishing up just ahead of schedule. It's almost nothing to do about that. Unfortunately, with those ramps on this map Polestar, it's very a tight choke indeed to try and push up into for pretty much any situation.
Two dropships, Sean.
Ooh, I mean, this is the kind of play you need to do when you're in a sticky situation, but there's a lot of Scourge out. So if cRoSs's on top of things, he will be able to shut this down. But if somehow UltrA's threading the needle and catching with his pants down, that could be a big deal.
Yeah, especially on top right. I mean, the Scourge would need to be in position to, you know, block those dropships, obviously. But because UltrA's been able to take the center of the map, he's really kind of blocking a lot of those pathways where, you know, some Scourge could look to come in and intercept a dropship. So, you know, we'll have to see where UltrA chooses to drop. But my assumption is top right.
I mean, it would make sense. I think it's the least defended position from drops currently. I'm not sure if that will maintain being the situation, but we have to wait and see. We've got a Marine checking 9 o'clock. Has got a few overlords to spot for a dropship, but they run around the exact far edge of the screen here on the right.
No.
You won't see them till the last possible moment, and those Scourge aren't in interception to get those, so they should be able to get into the main base and do a lot of damage here, Machine.
I can't believe it. You're absolutely right. It looks like he's going to. Scourge are not quite going to be in time, though. Still, this drop has been scouted out here. We're seeing units run through the Nidus. Not before some immediate drones have fallen at the third base of cRoSs.
Oh, I mean, he does thwart it, though. Does technically clean this up despite taking some losses still, though. Not the most easiest positions to navigate. As Terran in general, when you're not able to get some easy, but he's making a good job of it. I think these drops have been somewhat successful. He's killed a few drones and all those lurkers. Now he's going to try and stab the drones yet again. This could be a real big problem for cRoSs now. This damage is starting to rack up.
Yeah, we are seeing a pretty even worker count between these two.
Oh no.
I mean, he's fed how many lurkers at this?
Like 7?
Man, it's been a lot. It's been way more than it felt like 2 dropships, you know, should need to fight. So, well done here. And actually, UltrA smells blood in the water. I thought he was going to stim up there. I don't know why.
I thought he was going to D-Matrix one of his Marines and just go for it there.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been a cool play for sure. Oh, nice counter from cRoSs, though, taking out the lone third base of UltrA. And actually going to scout out the 4th as well.
I mean, I like that double expansion from UltrA here. It definitely will keep him in the game if he can get those bases up, but it looks like a little bit of a shutdown, or at least a slowdown here from cRoSs with these Zerglings. Should be dealt with pretty soon. But he does need to keep leapfrogging forward now, does UltrA. Currently even on worker counts. Wants to stop the Zerg from taking a 4th while double expanding himself, and that will put him into eventually a game-winning position.
Despite, you know, such a worker count here from cRoSs, there's just no units here for
He's gonna
cRoSs.
get it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Machine. I think he's done it. Oh no, cRoSs cannot hold this base any longer. He's gonna have to send some units manually across from his other rally point, but it's not gonna be enough.
some reason the Sunkens are doing some serious damage to those Marines. I couldn't believe that. Maybe he can hold with the Dark Sword
What?
somehow. That would be insane, though.
I think he is going to hold, actually. That's kind of nuts. I didn't think he was.
Yeah, no way. I thought he was done. And then those 3 Sunkens killed a bunch of Marines for some reason. It's weird.
What a
Either
crazy
way,
game.
cRoSs hangs on, man. Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be really interesting now because kind of the army count is being reset a little bit. I think still there's a lot of pressure coming online to this top right base. There's no lurkers up here. There's no Nidus Canal yet. So unless cRoSs can somehow reinforce on the ground from his natural rally point, it's going to be very challenging to secure this top right again.
Yeah, and he's going to have to. We see the rally point at the natural here for cRoSs. Has all the units. Yeah, there's just no way. Oh, man. cRoSs going to lose top right most likely, right?
Yeah, I think so. And I think with that, the game as well, unless he can do some insane counter damage on the other side of the map, I don't think that is going to occur. We got Ultralisks just coming online, but he's losing his last critical mining base. You can't really stay 2-base Zerg in this situation, especially not when the Terran players these additional bases set up. Even the Marines at the 4th base going to be shutting this down. Are you kidding me? Ultra playing crazy good right now.
Yeah, he's just all over it. Sees the counter timing happening, intercepts with the group of bio and science vessel. I mean, that 3rd base is no more. cRoSs trying to take another base, but he's just a step behind.
Yeah, there's nothing to really say about that. Besides the fact that Ultra is just playing so good at the moment. We have one single lurker under Dark Swarm, pressuring the natural 3rd of the Terran player, but I mean, it's not going to be enough. He's currently falling drastically in supply. He's now being eclipsed by Ultra, more than double their supply, almost triple their supply, half the worker count, and eventually we'll lose this game. He's triple expanding now, just one Hail Mary of stabilizing the game stay at all costs, but I doubt it's going to work.
Yeah, when you have this much of a vessel lead, I feel like you just do the eraser trick with 2 vessels, you just throw on the bases, right? Like, it's so difficult for Zerg to stop if they don't have the attention span for it.
But it's not just the attention span, it's the lack of gas, right? Like, he hasn't got the 3rd gas, so the ability to make Scourge as well as Defilers and Lurkers is very limiting, so he probably won't be able to stop you from eraser tricking in most cases.
For sure. Well, we do have a small group of Ultra Defiler here from cRoSs. Ooh, nice plague onto the vessels. All those vessels are healthy too, so that's big damage. But yeah, looks like a couple dropships going to distract as well here for Ultra. But finally, cRoSs getting some good trades into these vessels. One Muto would do some serious damage to that vessel flock here.
Yeah, it looks like he's also going to maybe save this hatchery at 12 o'clock, which is a pretty big deal. So, I mean, there's technically some lifeblood here for cRoSs. Assuming even remotely good play from Ultra, he should be able to close this game out, but there is a teeny tiny chance that cRoSs could run away with this game if Ultra chokes a little bit here, but he has got 2 dropships making their way. Unload a few Marines to kill 12, and the rest inside the main base or at the 3rd. I think the 3rd base is a better option here.
Nice redirect, yeah. Oh man, this is just so much damage where, I mean, cRoSs is just unfortunately spread too thin. It's just, still though, nice cleanup.
Man,
Did lose the 4th base though.
This game is pretty wild, but I have to say Terran's in a very commanding position. 4 bases churning away despite getting mined out on the main and natural. Zerg kind of scrambling for gas right now, finally getting some of the additional geysers set up, but might be a little bit too late. Another Trop coming into the top. He's just absolutely relentless with the pressure right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting great trades with these vessels. I mean, he did just lose one, but still another drop top left. There's just too much going on here for.
I'm almost wondering if we just shouldn't speak Machine because we keep cursing the players every time we say something.
I mean, that's usually my goal when I commentate. I'm in it for the cursing. I want to curse everybody, you know.
You're like a voodoo witch or something.
yeah, basically, I'm like a Jamaican witch. Oh boy, man, what a game there. Once again, I'm surprised, man. cRoSs kind of taking the worst end of that middle game there, despite such incredible muted control early on.
Yeah,
But yeah, Ultra. I mean, really, the big turning factor was the irradiates on the Mutaflock. I thought that was really a big swing, which
absolutely.
allowed the drops to even happen top right. So
Yeah, it seemed like cRoSs got a tiny bit complacent in that game, especially with taking the lurkers to reposition them to defend against the drop. He wasn't really paying super much attention to them and just assumed they would clean up the bio a little bit more effectively than they did. And he fed him about 7 or so lurkers in that top right and lost a lot more drones for it.
it was a lot. Yeah. Sometimes, like, I feel like if you just, things are going too well, mid-game ZVT, just make a couple sunkens at your outer bases, right? Like, just prepare for those drops, like, or give some buffer or something, instead of trying to maximize every single drone. But, easier said than done.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I agree.
we are ready with game number 3 here, folks. So it looks like the map going to be Deja Vu. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into game 3 of UltrA versus cRoSs. Alrighty, and spawning top left side of Deja Vu as the blue Terran once again, we have UltrA.
There's a opponent in the bottom left. It's cRoSs. It's the red Zerg.
Best of 5, we haven't really seen anything crazy or exciting as far as an opener from either player. I'm tempted to say we're going to see something out of cRoSs here. He's really not the player to do the exact same build game after game after game.
Yeah, he's more creative of a player and likes to mix it up, I would say. And he definitely has a, oh, there you go, 9 pull right off the bat.
I felt
It's definitely different. You can see the Matrix code, can you?
I mean, with cRoSs in particular, he's just someone I've watched so often, trying to figure out how his brain works. Like, it was 9 pull or it was going to be like an 11 pull or something like that. He's too good about it.
Yeah, could be a gas trick 9 pull though. No 9 pull speed or anything like that. Just wants to put the pressure on, maybe punish something like an 8 racks BBS or CC first here. The 1 racks FE in the main base though, a little bit harder to punish unless they don't pull SEVs to the ramp to defend.
Yeah, if he gets a little if UltrA gets a little unlucky with his scout, doesn't sniff this out, it could be a big problem. Because you never really expect to see 9 pull. And oh my gosh, unfortunately, that's exactly what we're gonna have going on here. So suddenly, UltrA, if he doesn't sniff this out, man, it is very easy to lose to a 9 pull.
Back in the day, they used to double SEV scout to prevent 9 pull. So if UltrA wants to play greedy and doesn't double scout with these SEVs, he's only got himself to blame, I would say.
True, yeah, especially against cRoSs. I'm telling you, it's not the first time that cRoSs is 9 pulled, versus Terran. So you gotta expect it whenever you're facing off against him.
And he's doing it. He is double scouting.
He is double scouting, but cRoSs saw the SCV with the drone, so he's gonna avoid it. Like, the mind games,
man. The other SCV might see it though. The other SCV sees it.
Oh wow, he does. Great job here from UltrA, being aware of that timing. And yeah, suddenly I think this is big advantage UltrA.
Yeah, unless he can somehow get good target fires on the SCVs and wrap around, might be able to do it. It's a little bit tough. Sometimes you can pull it off. Does try and get on top of those Marines. Can he kill both? He does kill both. That's a good start.
Yeah, very good start there from cRoSs. I did not think he was making it up that ramp, but as is, yeah. And cRoSs looks like he's going to do the 3 hatch first variation after 9 pull, which is a pretty strong way to play. Oh, he gets another Marine. I didn't think he was going to be able to do that. Oh, jeez.
I mean, sometimes you can pull it off. It looks like he's going to get another pair of Lings up here as well. This could be a little bit problematic from UltrA, to say the least. These 2 Lings can come and intercept this Marine that's currently out of position behind the gas geyser.
I like that he's retreating with the weakened Zerglings, keeping that potential maximized DPS. Targets onto the SCV on the command center, really trying to delay that. Won't get it, but I mean, look at the Congo line of SCVs he's forced off the mineral line here for so long.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, that shouldn't happen. Usually the SCV block on the ramp will be sufficient to prevent something like that from occurring. This time around, though, cRoSs kind of getting away with murder, and that 9 pool really paying off in a big way.
It's funny how I was, when we were first talking about cRoSs ZVT, I was kind of mentioning, oh yeah, he'll just take a disadvantage a lot of games, early on ZVT. But I've completely neglected that sometimes it works out in your favor too, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, that was 9 pool versus high ground Rax expand. Like, that's literally, you couldn't ask for a better scenario for Terran, but still cRoSs finds damage.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest though, the SCV pull was a teeny tiny bit light. He probably should have pulled one more SCV to be ultra safe against that. Pun not intended, I just realized. But unfortunately, that didn't transpire. Sometimes you shut down the link play with like 4 SCVs blocking the ramp. I think he only pulled 3 or so and tried to get back with the scouting SCV, but it wasn't quite good enough.
True. Well, we do have a natural geyser here from Ziki, sunken building as well in the natural. So yeah, he will be prepared here. And again, this is the 3 hatch variation. Oh no, he let the SCV in.
It's a bit of a shame.
Not a big deal. He just sees, wow, cRoSs has a lot of drones and 3 hatcheries early on. This sucks. Like, it's not the biggest deal that that's the vision he gave up, but still, you want to hide it if you can.
Yeah. I mean, it just looks like a very powerful game from cRoSs going forward, getting away with a pull first and then still having a very powerful economy off the back of it after the CC was made on the high ground and the lost mining time and what have you, and the Marines being killed. I mean, the stars are aligning for cRoSs in this series.
This looks to be a Zergling counter here out of cRoSs. I think he's going to hide everything mid-left.
Yeah.
Wait for UltrA to move out, and then he just wants to trade the Zerglings for anything.
Absolutely. I mean, he's gonna take another like 30 or so seconds for that link speed to finish up, but he could definitely just wrap around and pounce on top of UltrA as soon as he tries to move out.
Yeah, true.
You might bait at the front with like, yeah, it's like 6 or 8 lings, kind of like say, this is all I got, I promise, and then yeah, really punish him.
Wow, the scans failed to see the Zergling production, so UltrA's gonna feel safe to move out here.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the delayed link speed that really sells it as well, right? Like the link speed's going to kick in just as he starts to wrap around with the Zerglings and go for the back.
Muta's in production here, and as you said, yeah, now speed kicks in just in the nick of time. Big kills onto these Marines, forces a massive SCV pull, and I mean, it's just kind of luring all of the bio back at home. There are 2 Sunkens and some Zerglings are incompleted. Muta's just about to finish up here. Oh, wow. Masterclass BVT here from cRoSs.
Yeah, really high level stuff. It's definitely tournament orientated play as well. It's not something you want to always do on a ladder so that everyone like gets really good at dealing with it, but definitely an ace card you want to pull out from your sleeve once in a while, especially in a tournament setting. Can make you a really fierce competitor and a very scary opponent to deal with. Being able to pull out something like this in a series and suddenly UltrA in major disarray, unable to get these turrets online, just taps out and goes on to the next game and hopes for a better situation.
Yeah, GG is called there from UltrA. That's now for the first time going to be a cRoSs advantage in this set, 2-1. Like I said, man, you can't ever just assume what you're going to see out of him. You know, of course, game 3 or this next game, it's likely going to be 12 hatch or something, but he is not opposed to going 9 pool, to going 11 pool, to doing some off timing builds just to secure a mental edge.
Yeah, I really do like 11 pool, but we haven't seen it from him thus far. Let's see if he can bring that to us in this next game coming up. Seems like it's going to be UltrA's pick in it's going to be cRoSs's pick in Eclipse here. I'm looking forward to getting right into this, guys. Let's jump straight into our game number 4.
All right. Alrighty, spawning top right side of Eclipse as the blue Terran. Once again, it is Soul T Ultra.
And in the bottom left, as the red Zerg, it's crossing.
Yep, good old cRoSs. I'm surprised this is his map pick. I'm one of the Zergs that I don't really like Eclipse, even for Zerg versus Terran. I have a hard time securing a fourth base against certain styles of play, and I don't know, it's a tricky map occasionally. But I do know a lot of Zergs really like it for Hydra Guardian timings, and just other off-meta styles of play.
Yeah. I mean, Eclipse is definitely a bit of an unusual map because of how the lanes are set up. It's a very good mech map as well. Maybe UltrA will want to think about that. See if he can mix it up a little bit. Or he may be stubborn, may just go into that usual Rax FE and play a very cookie cutter, the same as he's been doing so far. I mean, it's possible that he's just done this a lot in practice and has decided to double down in this style in the face of defeat, not really caring too much, and wants to try and focus on what he's been practicing or emphasizing on more in his practice sessions.
That's something I definitely do, so I totally understand it. Why leave it up to a chance? Try to favor the style that you've been practicing leading into an event or on a certain map or anything like that. So yeah, can't fault it. Wow. I guess it's just an 11 pool, but this is going to be the 2-hatch pure variation, I believe, unless he just made another drone. No, I don't think so. So this is, I think, just 2-hatch instead of 2.5 hatch.
I don't know. It's kind of middle of the road. I think he's still kind of optimized for drones a little bit there. Yeah.
Okay, he did. Never mind.
He's probably trying to line up for a 302 lair at the bare minimum.
Okay. Shoot, I thought he was gonna maybe just do 2-hatch for once, but still, I mean, he's kind of favored this style of play, so makes sense.
Yeah.
SCV has 5 HP. Oh, it's barely gonna get away.
Oh, he gets it.
Oh, nice job.
I mean, one thing I really like is manual controlling workers, because you can make them slide over the hex grid of the tiles a little bit more efficiently than they would usually with their own AI. And that's a really good way on catching up to workers to get that moving shot.
Yeah, it really is. You see all the good Zergs tend to do that with their drones, and rebind move key to X. I know is a big deal for not only drone control, but muta control as well.
Yeah, I use W for move command.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter what you use, as long as it works for you at the end of the day, right? Yeah, I use patrol on Q and move on W. That just works for me, but whatever does work for you is important.
4 Marines at the natural here so far for UltrA. Kind of skipping out on any additional Marine production for now in order to maximize economy. Yeah, second barracks in there. Likely just going to be doing the same 2-Rax Academy play we've seen from him so far, is my guess.
Yeah. I mean,
this is the 2.5 hatch.
Yeah, I definitely think that UltrA is just wanting to double down in what he's been working on lately and doesn't want to mix it up too much. I mean, there's something to be said for that if you're not a really confident player that has a very practiced range of play. Sometimes it is better just to go with what you know rather than being too fancy.
True. Well, see a little bit more Zergling production, but not much out of cRoSs. Looks like he just wants to feel safe for now. Spire's well underway at the natural, 3rd hatchery as well, inside the main. Very, very standard. 19 drones to 24 SCVs, so I'd say fairly even for both players.
Yeah, the stim is actually a bit late for UltrA, so I don't think he's going to have a very strong move out timing if he does want to do something like that. I think he might be waiting for the fire bats. Okay, is he going to go? Okay. He's going to push out anyway. Thought the stim was a few seconds behind schedule, so he wanted to delay that a little bit. Now, though, the Lings could potentially get a run by without much counterplay from the Marines until that stim finishes up. I think he's going to get away with it regardless.
He seems so late that I don't know. I think cRoSs will just cancel the Sunkens, but yeah, it looks like he's gonna move forward with him, so might be the right call. It's also not many Marines. It's 3 medics, 7 Marines, so not a ton of damage. Yeah. Nice timing here though from cRoSs. Almost got an SCV.
Yeah, I mean, SCVs are so bulky that it's hard to always pick them off without risking them drilling into your lings and killing them for free, so he wisely pulls out before getting that SCV kill, just knowing that he would risk losing those lings in doing so, and he wants them for map control and vision right now.
Looks like UltrA happy that he's kind of scout out no third so far, is choosing to retreat back with the 3 medics to his own natural, just kind of group up with everything before the mutas are live.
I mean, cRoSs must be feeling good about this. He's got overlords in all 3 critical locations. He's picked up a marine for free now as well, but having like an overlord at both of those islands and the natural without them being sniped is really good. He might even get a medic. He gets a medic. That's crazy.
Oh man, so close to getting that medic, but he did get a couple of free marines already just to kind of start things off. And yeah, I mean, this bio's kind of stuck out here. There's no bunker. I mean, he's really got to start taking some better fights leading into these mutas.
Yeah, just a 3 racks so far. Doesn't want to really double down on that with a 4th racks to guarantee some ability to push out onto the map. Tries to scan for the overlord kill. cRoSs trying to punish that, but he does get the overlord kill. He actually supply blocks cRoSs right now. That's a nice little pickup.
That's big. That's also, I mean, vision gone overside the natural. That's really going to make it difficult for cRoSs to judge move out timings and see unit count.
And a very mediocre drone count.
Just no third yet for cRoSs. He's really got to get that down. I mean, he's going to be in some serious trouble here. Got to hold third base.
I mean, he started to make a few drones now, but for a while he was sitting on like the bare necessities of drones. He's only just now making a few rounds of those. He was really committed to doing a lot of damage with those Mutalisks, and maybe realizing that it's not going to be as easy as he anticipated. It's 3 turrets in the natural. Needs to maybe make a 4 for a bunker. Elects to make the bunker for now. And so far, pretty good trading on this bio. If cRoSs can keep this going for a long time, this damage is really going to start to ramp up, and without any critical mass of bio being ascertained and no 4th barracks, it's going to be so tough for UltrA to come out onto the map.
Yeah, it really is here. We're finally seeing some additional mutas group up in the center here. cRoSs has done a great job really trading versus the bio, but hasn't really done like a ton else, right? It's not like he's been picking off SCVs or something like that. We see a 38 SCV count here for UltrA, which has kind of been unhindered. Third base is, I mean, feels late. It's you know, about 8 minutes 30 seconds, still not online, still no third gas mining. So just based on that, cRoSs has been pretty committed to trying to get damage done and hasn't really been able to do so.
Yeah, it's kind of been middle of the road. Like, it's been pretty okay, but not like really commanding. He's now making a lot of Zerglings while getting that hive started up in just a few moments here. Might be trying to do a sulky-esque mutaling cleanup on this bioforces if he sees an opportunity to do so.
That's ever the right call versus a bunker. Not like early mid-game like this. It's just so difficult for Zerglings to really have an impact once bio reaches like a tipping point.
Well, the only thing going for him is that he has shaved off a lot of those bio units to maybe make it work. It depends on when UltrA decides to pull the trigger on going out.
He hasn't pulled the trigger
He scans the lings. Look at that scan. That's a crazy high-level scan from UltrA. Does target down one of those mutas as well, but still struggling with the bio count.
Yeah, he's got to just kind of keep everything grouped in a ball for now. Still though, cRoSs, I gotta say, he's putting himself in a good position. He's really kind of just contained all this bio with really just a group of muta and some Zerglings. Has his third base underway now. Lurker, hive underway too. He's setting up to be in a great position here.
Yeah, I mean, now he knows about the Zerglings, so he can preemptively stim and go for it. and make sure he never gets caught with his pants down going forward. He has a bit of a timing window now, maybe to either force Sunkens or additional units to be produced. Lurkers, though, are finally out, so cRoSs can still sit back comfortably and just start powering up on those 3 bases, throwing down macro hatcheries, and trying to maybe squeeze out 1 or 2 more drones here.
Yeah, it looks like he still is drawing that 3rd base, though. He's got 3 lurkers on the high ground at the 3rd, so it's really not under threat at all at the moment. He's got to get a couple more lurkers for the natural, but I think he could do that here shortly. No Defiler mound quite yet, but you can bet he's definitely just racing to that Defiler tech, to that Consume tech as well, in order to try to just hold the 3rd and natural.
Yeah, he does have that Defiler mound that's just now starting Consume, so a minute is in order until that upgrade is fully online and operational. UltrA currently racing across the map to see if he can put the pressure on. It's very common for Terrans to lay siege to the Zerg in these scenarios and try and put the Zerg on a little bit of a clock, and even if you don't necessarily kill the Zerg right away, sometimes just by leaning on the Zerg for extended periods of time, throwing out irradiates and looking for opportunities to dive in on some units, sometimes even lasting as long as 2 minutes solid, and eventually you find the chink in the armor to exploit.
I gotta say, he's killed like 4 overlords of
Yeah.
cRoSs. I mean, those are pretty big supply blocks for the most part. So UltrA finding value just by moving around the map. Maybe if he's not, even though he's not able to really pressure the natural or pressure the 3rd, you know, he's at least getting some damage done.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking pretty good. Finally getting some radiates down onto those Defilers, but paying the price, almost losing both of those vessels. The other one dangerously low HP. Needs to be super careful with those critical gas units. Does UltrA, has a CC ready to float over to the 3rd. And Armory coming out online. Is he going to be getting some Valkyries out right now? What's he doing? Oh, maybe he's doing it. No, he can't be. He's doing a extra sweet. This is what I wanted to see from UltrA.
It's the right call, because Zero just pointed out to us, this is actually a Hydra transition here from cRoSs. He's going Hydra Plague, basically.
Can we point out that this is basically one of the maps that kind of revolutionized going for Hydra Defiler in the first place because of how hard it is to trade efficiently with Terran on this map sometimes. And it kind of forced Zerg players to learn how to be efficient by getting a bit more mineral focused armies with those Hydras and usage of plagues and what have you. And I think this is the map that kind of birthed that style, and we're going to be seeing why that is.
True, yeah. It's because the 4th is so difficult to hold as Zerg, right? Like, look at cRoSs and the position he's at right now. And I mean, maybe if he got the bottom right, the high ground base, right, with 3 lurkers and set a bunch of units over there, he could defend it, but it's so far away. It's just very difficult to do so.
As well as the 4th being hard to control, the 3rd is easy to control with Sunkens because of how close the ramp is to the 3rd hatchery. So you can like easily hold the 3rd at the ramp with not that many Sunkens and make it a very easy defense in the early game as well.
Yeah, very true. Well, we do see UltrA. I mean, he's really starting to put put the pedal down, taking a 4th base as well. He has units at the top left and center of the map. Really starting to kind of put the pressure on here for cRoSs. cRoSs, meanwhile, just kind of darting around with his mutas, looking for a couple counter timings, but nothing real with like major substance. Actually, this is a bigger force than I thought. cRoSs will scout out the mech transition.
Yeah, this is a great scout from him. He's going to be trying to make three factories worth of tanks to try and counter this Hydra Defiler style. Meanwhile, leapfrogging towards this natural 4th location. There will be a lot of vessels churning out some irradiates to stop this, but he's going to try and pounce on top of that SCV line while he still can.
Yeah, this is big damage here from cRoSs, man. I mean, being able to deny that 4th, he's really putting the pressure on UltrA, kind of like we were saying earlier with Zeke versus Boneth. UltrA is now not able to really pressure the expanding 4th of cRoSs. He's not really able to drop the 3rd, the natural. I mean, he's kind of just been stuck defending a base that is really difficult to defend high ground on. So yeah, this is ideal situation here for cRoSs.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to get this fourth gas, so quite critically, he needs to make vessels as well as 3 factories worth of siege tanks non-stop. That requires a lot of that Vespene gas. And as long as he can keep this at bay and stop this CC from landing and being effective, he's going to have a hard time of it. cRoSs's being super annoying to UltrA right now.
Yeah, very nice dark storms here from cRoSs. He's doing a great job kind of once again defending this high ground. I mean, UltrA needs to get this base online ASAP. And unfortunately, Ziki just picked the worst time to hit because of the mech transition timing.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he should better clean up this force here, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think. I think the longer this game goes on, the more problematic it's going to become. He needs this 4th base so desperately, and look at cRoSs, he's taking his own 4th base now, and he's got a 5th base sprouting up in the bottom right.
Yeah, he's really starting to thrive here. Supply is definitely in UltrA's favor still, though, and we do see plenty of bio actually still being produced. Bio at UltrA's 3rd, but I mean the tank count continues to rise here.
Yeah. I mean, that's the main win condition here of UltrA's get like 18 tanks on the same screen and be able to leverage them all at the same point of the map and have a critical mass. That's just too much for someone like cRoSs to deal with. But he's going to keep the pressure on. Meanwhile, it's cRoSs and keep throwing some stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. Another beautiful play could come in on those bio units. Hydras do so well against plagued marines. It will dry up against the tanks, but being able to thin out the herd of bio like this efficiently is going to be a big deal. Looks like a big counterattack from UltrA on this bottom lane, though. He looks like he wants to seize the opportunity to get onto the Zerg's rally point right here, right now.
Yeah, this is such a good call. I mean, he pretty much is right outside the natural now of cRoSs. He's going to prevent any further movement of troops. Big 4 siege tanks also coming down just to apply pressure under that Dark Swarm here. Vessel count dwindling though.
Yeah, he needs to keep these vessels alive. There's still constant production of Scourge to pick those off one at a time. He's doing a great job of that, even splitting these 2 pairs of Scourge to try and get them both. Does manage to save one of them. Has got some Ultras waiting in the wings as well. Ultralists aren't so good against tanks when they're all leveraged in one big spot, but if you can make a scrappy game of it and keep the turn spread thin, Ultras do have good cost efficiency.
Yeah, especially once they're allowed to get on top of siege tank lines, for sure. I mean, now's go time, cRoSs. You can't let yourself get stuck in like this. I don't see another Defiler, and without that, maybe cRoSs doesn't feel very confident in moving out. But either way, UltrA is on his doorstep here.
Yeah, I'm not so sure I like the play from UltrA to split off this many forces to kill the bottom right. I think he's leaving his tank line a little bit thin. And I think he's giving an opportunity here for cRoSs to break out. This is a great play at the 4th base location, though, that's already been set up. I like this from UltrA a lot. I think he should just put a few Marines to go down to the bottom right while the rest came up here and the others held the line of the tanks. Seems like cRoSs didn't find the opportunity to push out at that critical moment, though. So now he's kind of just sitting back and waiting to die, but finally finds the opportunity to start pushing out onto that. But there's already quite a lot of siege tanks here, but with the majority of those bio forces committed to the bottom right, maybe cRoSs can still break through all these tanks.
Yeah, it looks like the tank's just barely going to win out. It's just so much... maybe not, actually. Good spreading here from cRoSs. But either way, significant damage is being done to cRoSs' economy here. He has to secure that fort. I mean, it is it is do or die time. You could say the same for UltrA as well. Despite the 2k resources, he really has to secure his own fourth here, or he may, run the risk of dying.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he did kill these expansions quite effectively, did UltrA, and now that kind of puts the game state into a bit of an iffy situation for the Zerg. But he does still have to get his own 4th base, does UltrA. And he needs to make sure he maintains these factories churning out non-stop tanks. If he suddenly starts to kill enough of them, it'll be very difficult for UltrA to find his win condition if he loses the support of those siege tanks.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised cRoSs has allowed these vessels to stay alive for so long, and they've been super low HP versus Hydra the whole time, and just not being targeted down.
Yeah, he's even going to try and rotate these ultras to the third base. Is cRoSs. There's luckily a lot of bio up there to stop that in its tracks. So Ultra doing a great job of trading thus far. cRoSs getting a little bit impatient here, almost. Does get a massive plague on some of those siege tanks and bio units. It's doing a pretty good job. Fourth base finally going to be seized from Ultra. Probably in the nick of time as well. Like his main and natural has been mined out for a little bit. And Terran do kind of want to churn away on two bases to feel comfortable. He's going to be able to ascertain that while also pushing out with some tanks towards the Zerg's rally point yet again.
We're starting to see UltrA try to consolidate his force. He has transitioned pretty much to pure Ling UltrA towards the end of this game. And I mean, those vessels have been allowed to do so much damage. Yeah, big surround here though. Wow. Still, this is going to allow the vessels to come in and do some much needed damage here with these irradiates.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of the biggest mistakes we see from Zerg players is they forget about the vessel fleet and suddenly their ultras are all irradiated and they're running at risk of killing their own Zerglings. He realizes he has to pull the trigger on being hyper aggressive to try and mitigate that issue and turn his ultras into splash damage machines with that irradiate in effect. Trying to rain down on this fourth base location, trying to find a win condition by taking away more steam from the Terran by knocking out the space.
Yeah, and again, he will take it. Big lurker spines going down on these SCVs. But the vessels, I mean, they're in a sense like late game queens for Terran, right? Like if they're not dealt with, they're just gonna get another kill and then another kill and then another kill, and you know, on and so forth. Or like, there's just no way that cRoSs has really shown that he's capable of handling them.
I mean, in so many games, the vessels are essentially the main fighting force of the Terran, and most of their other units are just basically supporting them from staying active and, you know, constantly churning away those spells as time progresses. He's got like a healthy count of like 8 or so vessels here to keep throwing out those irradiates, and yeah, cRoSs is at risk of drying up here. Needs to. Oh, that's a beautiful plague, though. That's the money plague right there. If he can somehow get a Mutalisk or something, or even just splitting off his Scourge to take them out, that's going to be a big win.
Yeah, these were big vessel pickups. This is what cRoSs needed, really, to kind of stay in this one. There's fortunately plenty of Defilers and plenty of Zerglings over here, so Ultra not really in a position to push. However, I'd like to see, you know, a few more Fire Bats being mixed in here, especially versus this heavy of Zergling Defiler. It does wonders.
Yeah, it definitely does. It's just so often Terran players forget to even make a Fire Bat, even though they are sometimes really valuable. Even sometimes just making a whole round of Fire Bats can pay dividends in this matchup, especially if the Zerg is relegated to flooding Lings at any particular junction.
Certainly. Here we go. cRoSs decides now's the time. He's going to try to push. Ah, man. Yeah, that did not end up paying off for him. Ultra continues to climb closer and closer to that max supply point here. Just about double the supply of cRoSs at this point.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much hope for cRoSs if this maintains for much longer. He's even losing the gas at this base in the bottom right. That's very valuable income. That's 300 gas a minute that he will no longer be able to get. I mean, that's going to really start to add up. The writing is on the wall for him if he can't continue these counterattacks to shut down that fourth anymore, as well as losing access to this gas down here. He is saving that base technically, but more and more irradiates starting to churn away. The writing is on the wall for our Zerg player, as he could make some big plays happen.
Yeah, I mean, he's just focused on surviving at the natural here, and even that not going to be enough. Looks like Ultra's done it. So many siege tanks and vessels. They're just continually pressuring this fourth base, and GG is called there from cRoSs. And again, we have a tied up Game 5 series on our hands here.
Man, tonight has been absolutely insane with these games going toe to toe every single time, like a pendulum swinging back and forth. And I'm super excited to jump into this decider match and see which of these guys is going to be joining us remaining in the winners bracket and who's going to be dropping down into that losers bracket.
So it looks like map 5 going to be Metropolis. I'm sure no one's complaining about that, right? I mean, such a standard map to kind of close this one out on. But
I
yeah,
love
both our
Metropolis.
players are good to go here, folks. So let's
All
go
right,
ahead and jump
guys,
into game number 5.
let's get it.
Alrighty, spawning top left side of Metropolis as the red Terran. It's Soul T Ultra.
His opponent in the top right, looking to redeem himself in his final game. It's cRoSs. It's the blue Zerg. And now this is a very Terran favored map, it has to be said, in this matchup machine. Hopefully cRoSs can dig deep and make up the deficit.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if we'll see maybe some more unorthodox play, some type of a pool first opener, or if we've just, what we've been seeing out of him today time and time again, which has really been favoring that 2.5 hatch, opener, which, he's proven to be pretty good at. Oh, no way.
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, he has to maybe do something spicy on Metropolis, right? Since it is pretty much like a 6-4 favoriting Terran map. Can't necessarily fault him for going for it, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I think he could, if he played standard, he could very well just take a set off of Ultra too. But still, yeah, I mean, 9 pool, it worked once before already in this series, so we'll see how it pays off here.
Well, I admire the confidence you have in our fellow Zerg broods and what they can do despite bad maps and bad situations. Let's see if he can make it happen. SCV Scout though, heading the right direction. That's a nice little early game pickup for Ultra.
Yeah, that's never ideal, especially with a 9 pool opener. I mean, yeah, Ultra's just going to be able to scout this out. Should be able to block his ramp with the appropriate amount of SCVs. Yeah, this is unfortunate here for cRoSs.
Yeah. Oh, he gets a block. No way. That's crazy good. He's even delaying the hatchery machine. Oh, jeez.
Delays the hatchery. He's delaying the Zergling timing. He's going to block it again. Oh, my God.
No way.
That's so frustrating if you're cRoSs.
I mean, the salty Ultra suddenly making maybe cRoSs the salty one in this equation with that kind of early game shenanigans coming down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. You got to be so frustrated at that. I like how Ultra places the single SCV up front, so he knows like to make an easy SCV to pull through the minerals like that. It just makes defending like so much more simple.
I just like that he's bringing 4 instead of 3. That's what I'm happy about.
True.
Yeah, that is the correct number. You can bring 5 to be ultra safe, but 4 is more than reasonable.
Well, no shocker to us. We're seeing that third hatchery yet again here from cRoSs. I mean, 17 workers to 10 at this point. I mean, if you're cRoSs, you're not pleased. Things could have gone better.
I mean, I remember Lava's games back in the day when he'd play against Lars. Lars was one of the only guys back then that could get one over against Lava, and Lava would sometimes pull out the 9 pool in the earlier games, and Lars would do things like this, and Lava would be smashing his keyboard in a rage at how annoying this is.
Yeah, it really is. Anytime you feel this far behind, I mean, you're kind of just forced to outplay your opponent from here on out, right? There can be no risks. There can be no blunders. Everything else from there on out needs to go perfect.
Yeah. It's kind of tough. I mean, he can make it happen, of course. It's just a big mountain to overcome. Can he intercept the SCV Scout? The SCV Scout gets out. Okay, can he catch it? It's a big deal if he can. Really.
So close. But yeah, it looks like it's just barely going to slip by.
I mean, Ultra's going to be feeling happy about that. And he doesn't see any additional Zerglings being made. He will soon have enough Marines to resecure his natural, and if the SCV Scout somehow gets across the map, it's going to be great, but Link should eventually clean it up.
Yeah, that academy is quite early too. This could be a very fast stint timing, even out of
Yeah.
Ultra. Yeah, he's making a 9th Marine.
Okay, I don't think he actually is going to go for a fast stim timing here. Seems like he's just chilling.
Yeah, it seems like he's just kind of happy with what he's got going on here. So no big deal. cRoSs somehow is caught up in workers. I'm so shocked. Even with the sunken, that's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's optimized pretty efficiently. He's not letting it get to his head. He's just playing his absolute A game. And when all said and done, he will have a pretty comfortable position here, economically speaking. But the main thing to write home about is just how late this spire is going to be and how long it's going to be for those Mutalisks to actually get into the main base of the Terran, who's going to be able to optimize his own turret timings accordingly now that the SCV sees everything in the main.
Yeah, he really will be. I mean, just great scout timing yet again here from Ultra. Just always knows the right time to send that SCV.
It's a good skill to have.
Yeah, definitely is.
Mining up the minerals on his ramp just to make sure the unit flow is going to be as good as possible for when the Mutalisks finally do start to harass. We could still see a very standard game from these two players. It could go the distance despite the early game shenanigans.
This is so much bio early on from Ultra. I would have liked to at least seen like a half step move out, right? Like
A threaten, you mean?
Yeah, he had the SCV in the main. He knows it's not like cRoSs is going all in Ling. Like you could halfway move across the map, force 1 or 2 sunkens, and then you know move back and defend. But he's being a little too passive with the bio, I think.
Yeah, I agree. He's being a little bit overly tentative, not allowing any kind of Ling stabs or anything, frustrating him. But that also means no additional Lings need to be made back at home, and so the Mutalisk timing will be a little bit more crisp than it should be.
Yeah, very true. I mean, exactly. If he forced like some additional Zerglings, it would have been a better position. As is, though, you know, Ultra's natural mineral line looking a little sparse, and it really seems like cRoSs has somehow climbed back already from a failed 9-pool opener.
Yeah, kind of impressive stuff. Maybe a testament to why he's going for it in the first place. He feels confident that he can navigate even a slightly dire situation into a pretty formidable mid-game nonetheless. He's going to start trading with these bio units. He realizes that if he just goes for SCVs right now only, he might be in a little bit of trouble. Look how many turrets were made from Ultra. Like, he's really forcing him to trade bio right now.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, part of that's the positioning. You know, anytime you're facing off for Zerg in these positions, the mineral line is a little exposed to Muta, so I get why he's doing it, but still, it's costly.
Oh yeah, yeah. Usually you'll see like a maximum of 4 at this time in the game, but he wants to really double dip and make sure he can keep his bio count being the ideal point of contention and not allowing too many SCVs being sniped without paying a big price of Mutalisk HP for those longbolt missiles. It's going to be doing a quick transition now while taking a 3rd base, but I don't know. I mean, Ultra somehow slowly lagging behind in this game despite the good scouting early game.
Yeah, I kind of agree. It's slowly starting to turn cRoSsy favorite. There we go. Nice pickup though from Ultra there. Just gets himself a Mutalisk. Still though, the 3rd base bottom right is being allowed to pop up here for cRoSs.
Double bunk.
He's afraid of counters, I guess.
He just read the game state wrong, I think, and he thinks that cRoSsy's going to be a lot more aggressive than he actually is.
Yeah, I think you're right. He thought this was a big Muta Ling counter or something, but it's not. He's getting Lurker. He's getting Hive.
This is kind of interesting. I mean, he's now scanning and starting to push out with the Bioforce, but that's a big commitment into bunkers that he doesn't even need right now.
Well, I was going to say, I thought the Zerglings were going to run into the main, but they didn't quite on time. Yeah, cRoSs just says, I don't even need to counter. Oh, there's no Lurkers at the natural, though. He's got him at his 3rd and not his natural. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I mean, that's a bit of a misstep. If Ultra identifies that, he can definitely punish. He's got a bit of a timing window, about 30-40 seconds to get in here and do something. He needs to focus on his Mulisk micro to delay this at all costs. Does manage to snipe one of these overlords. Doesn't quite supply block cRoSs though, so it's not game ending when he stretches the imagination. But if he scans and sees there's no lurkers, he could pull the trigger. But I think maybe with the Sunkards finishing up, he should be safe.
Yeah, I think he's just barely done it with the single lurker. He could always go back with the mutas as well, but still, that was a risky development there. cRoSs could have very well lost his natural.
I mean,
now, yeah.
Terran versus Zerg is all about those razor thin timing windows, sometimes only 5 seconds wide. And if you miss them, you miss them. And it's just, you know, you're kind of relegated to laying siege to the Zerg with your normal SK Terran play style. And it's such a timing attack orientated race. And I think that some of these amateurs Terrans really struggle with exploiting that.
Very true, man. I mean, the amount of times I'm just like sweating and counting down the seconds waiting for Consume to upgrade in this matchup is unbelievable. Like, it's all about those timings. You have to be on time with your hive, you know, with your defiler mound, with your radiate, with your stim, or
yeah.
I mean, you're just not able to continue on.
Yeah, I mean, the game does seem like it is going to continue on. cRoSs, pretty healthy count of drones at 44 to 47 SCVs. Even enjoying a slight supply lead right now, which is very unusual at this point in the game, in this matchup.
For sure. Nidus as well in production here at the third. Until that Nidus gets online, though, this is very risky. Oh, man, don't tell me cRoSs is going to lose his third base here. That would just be unreal. That's only a
pretty.
single lurker here.
Oh man, he's got Nidus, but
that's
a pretty big connection. Holy! So many Marines just died in such a quick succession. I mean, the stars are aligning now for cRoSs to not only hold this, but propel himself into a very good position. Dives on top of those bio. The vessels are trying to retreat. He could chase them down.
That was unreal. That one lurker spine killed so many Marines.
Like 6 in a train of, yeah, it was crazy. The stim really punished him.
Yeah, I guess so. Man. Well, it looks like UltrA still wants to continually apply pressure here bottom right. There is a Nidus now completed though. It's going to be a more difficult task here. But still, he's picking up quite a few free Zerglings for his troubles. Greater Spire in production now for cRoSs as well.
Well, I mean, you got two options of slowing down the Terran, and that's either end snares or something like a Guardian play to help, you know, buy time for the full-on effect of those defilers to become online. You can also do some counter pressure. He's intercepting the dropships at the 12 o'clock. Oh, they're empty. What is going on right now? It's a kind of fake drop into the main base. We're trying to sunken bus in the bottom right, hoping for this Hail Mary to pay off. There's nothing underneath that Overlord. Just 2 Sunkens are falling. Nidus could get targeted down. He's desperately trying to get lurkers through that Nidus count. He doesn't target the Nidus down though. Some more Zerglings will start to trickle through as well as lurkers, but he does get the kill on that Nidus count. Can he get the Defiler? He's trying to consume the eggs. Can't get it in time.
Oh my god, I cannot believe he's going to end up killing off this third base with that. I mean, units are going to come in and try to kill off the remainder of these Marines, but if he loses...
No way. No, he's done it.
Game.
I mean, he's killed the mutas. I mean, that's crazy. What are we watching right now, Machine? What menagerie is the script writers of this universe imagining right now? This is a crazy game. I think he will still secure this third base, but that should not have gone down like that. UltrA somehow figuring out crazy little windows of opportunity.
He still has no third base, although he does have a command center floating to the third. Still no Nidus alive either at this third base here for cRoSs. And Defiler got to fall just before being able to... Oh, no, it gets the Dark Swarm off. Okay. Which, I mean, he needs here. He needs every second he can possibly buy.
I mean, he needs to make a non-stop Defiler at that base. Like, every minute have one popping out, ready to just quickly throw down more and more consumes until that Nidus is fully operational yet again. He's got lots of units just waiting to bounce through that to reinforce, but it's like UltrA going to be rotating around, trying to pressure the natural rally point of cRoSs instead now, while taking his third. That is now starting to mine, so Ultra finding himself into a more and more playable game state. He can tactically snipe this Nidus from the high ground as well as the gas, so he has to react to this with Zerglings.
Wow, this Marine is going to get another few kills here. 15 kills.
15 Marines! This is a Special Forces series of BSL games tonight, boys.
Yeah, it really has been. Oh, big Plague, though, from cRoSs. That's exactly what he needs. He's got to start whittling down this vessel count before it gets out of hand here. Oh,
I mean,
man.
cRoSs must be a little bit tilted by this at this point. I hope he can maintain his composure and not let this get to him too much. But this is really, oh my god, are you kidding me? Machine, are you kidding me? No way. Are you? Okay, fine.
Barely. I mean, that one Marine had like 25 kills. That was insane. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, pretty good unit, I guess, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Right, tier 1 unit. Man, we do have ultras now for cRoSs though, bottom right, so that might be able to stifle any more pressure for now. What he really needs is a plague, man. He's got to plague this bio. Are you kidding me?
Jeez. Oh no, no way, no, not like this. Okay, finally gets a Dark Swarm down. Prevents disaster. Counterattack at the third could do a lot of damage actually.
Yeah, looks like it's undefended. I mean, you really got to get a bunker at these third base if you can. He doesn't notice. That's actually...
What? How does he not notice? He's so tunnel vision on the aggression right now. He just completely doesn't react to it in time, but does manage to eventually get the lift off and evacuation orders initiated. But still, this is a crazy final decider match.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, he's going to be doing a simultaneous drop at the fourth base here momentarily. So that applying with the pressure, you know, in the center of the map, I believe this is, again, going to be a third dead here for cRoSs.
And that Defiler's begging to be sniped from the high ground. I'm not sure UltrA will notice, but could still get in there. We snipe this gas off in the natural as well from the high ground. Such a Terran favored map because of little exploits like this. It's just so easy to run around and be annoying to Zerg. Zerg trying to respond to this, but is there going to be enough to do so? I'm not so sure. Noticing now trying to pop out some more units. These vessels are seriously low, but it does get targeted down. +4 carapace upgrade on those ultras, but he's going to lose the hatchery.
Man, cRoSs looks like he's in dire straits right now. I've really been unable to secure this third gas. You absolutely have to have a third gas versus Terran.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing he's got going for him is he's kept UltrA from securing a third base himself, but still, things are not going according to plan here.
And certainly not with that hatchery placement at the natural. Definitely not going to be optimized mining that gas anytime soon. Needs to place down more and more hatcheries in the bottom right to try and secure those. Oh no, look at that double drop in the main base. I don't think there's enough to intercept this.
Yeah, this could be pretty big. We're seeing units retreat into the main here for cRoSs, but not before so much bio has been unloaded behind the main middle line here of cRoSs. I mean, it's in such a tough position to get to. Looks like he's going to kill off this Monarch.
It's going to help him.
Yeah, it will. It'll help him get to him for sure. But man, I mean, we're just seeing panic now out of cRoSs.
I mean, yeah, he's in real desperate straits. He's trying to get these ultras up here to defend in the top right. He's going to eventually clean that up. He's kind of lucky that he didn't respect these two dropships in the bottom right. He had two fake dropships kind of trying to distract cRoSs on two fronts, but those were kind of bluffs that weren't even really recognized from cRoSs. He's still shutting down the mining on that third base location. He does need to re-secure that in the next minute or so before he becomes mined out completely.
Oh man, more and more drones falling here from cRoSs as well. Nice pickup on a vessel though. But finally, UltrA has secured his own third base yet again. And he's simultaneously just moving in here to this third base. Oh, instant Nidus and just backs off.
Yeah, it's such a weak building, man. It dies so quickly. It's like a photon cannon in terms of how brittle it is. Absolutely insane. That's got some drones transferring down here, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough, Machine. I think UltrA is starting to close the game out.
Yeah, it really seems like it. Well, we do have another Ultra rounding out here, bottom right. Vessel's going in for it looks like the Eraser at the natural here up cross.
Oh,
Yep,
an Ultra
one
at the
Ultra
third
final.
to rule them all. Yeah, can he do it? It's going to be some heavy lifting in order. I don't know how he's going to hold onto his base in the bottom right, but
I
it
don't
seems
think
like
he can,
I don't think so either. It's just so crazy of a mountain to overcome, and I think cRoSs is in his death throes. Ultra somehow keeping it together in this series, despite how commanding cRoSs looked in the early phases of the. Oh, look at the double! I mean, this is crazy, the amount of damage that's being done on both sides, but there's just nowhere near enough on Ultra's side of the map. Most of it is being dished out on cRoSs's side. He's in complete disarray.
Yeah, I mean, he really is. He's just spread a little too thin. The Vessels have been allowed to do so much damage here. It's just, I mean, a matter of time at this point. There's so many SCVs still alive here for Ultra. Definitely has the stronger economy. Continues to kind of push forward. And cRoSs just, I mean, can't secure a third. There's little to no mining happening.
Did you see that hatchery placement? It was like he was very optimistic and that his drones could mine over a cliff edge there. GG finally called. Closing out the game is Ultra. 3-2. What an epic series, Machine. We couldn't have hoped for a more climactic finish.
Yeah, incredible series between these two. I knew it was going to be close going into it, but I didn't know it was going to be that close, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done from Ultra, much deserved. We'll be seeing him moving on through the winner bracket. Looks like he'll be facing the winner of Dragon versus Hawk next.
Yeah, no. Go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's another match that's gonna be pretty epic coming up here. I love to see Ultra face off against another North American Zerg and Hawk, so it'd be cool to see.
Yeah, Hawk's a cool guy. He's a very knowledgeable Zerg. Would like to see how far he's going to go in this tournament. He's kind of a little bit hit and miss in his tournament settings sometimes, but when he plays good, he plays really good. And I would like to see some really high caliber play out of him. It's been a really fun time casting this brackets with you today, Machine. We've had a really long cast and a great series of games. It's been really impressive showing from all these guys, really outperforming their own expectations, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, Zeke Boneth was such an incredible series, right? We almost got to see Zeke kind of break through. Ultra, I would say, is maybe a little bit of an upset versus cRoSs, so big plays from him. JD Conan looking incredible as well as the Bacardi Terran Medinho, so truly some incredible games today. And yeah, it was fun commentating with you as well, Sean. Gotta do it again soon here.
Yeah, man.
But yeah. Before we head out, folks, we definitely want to make sure to thank all of our Patreon supporters and sponsors here for the BSL.
I usually do that, so why don't you take the honors of doing it this time around, Machine?
Sure, sounds good to me. Yeah. Oh, on you? Okay. Let me see here. Give me 1 second. Uh, Actually, I don't know if I can load the webpage for it either, unfortunately. Can you pass me a link and then I can? Sorry. Okay. Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's not
folks.
working for me, guys, either.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties. We're being DDoS. They don't want us to give out the shoutouts. Hope you guys have been enjoying the games and cast in the chat. It's been a nice long one, a little bit longer than we anticipated, but that's just because the games have been that epic, Machine.
Yeah, it's been such a close series. I mean, every single one so far today. I gotta say, yeah, this has definitely been one of the longer series I've ever commentated for sure. But some good series made it well worth it, man. Anytime you get to see Boneth and Zeke play, it's a good day for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you were here with me in the caster booth to share the burden of that long, intense marathon cast. Wouldn't have had it any other way, buddy.
Yeah, same here, man. This was fun. Well, all right. Looks like we want to go ahead and thank our Bombastic Wolf of Wall Street level, $200 a month. We have Andrew. At the Bombastic General level, $100 a month, we have My Fleeting Dream. At the Colonel level, we got to see him play today, Mr. Striker. Thank you so much for your contributions. At the Majors level, $30 a month, we have Two Apocalypse. And at the also Scheming Gypsy, Chaosu, Nadine Ho, who we also got to see play today, Steven Robertson, KJ, Daniel Lopez, LML, and Nicholas Schuler. Thank you all so much for your contributions. But yeah, it's been one hell of a day, man. Thank you everyone who contributes week in, week out, big or small. Yeah, it's been a fun one today, folks. Again, I'm Machine. Good seeing you all here. Hope to see you guys bright and early tomorrow for quite a bit more BSL action. And big thanks to Sean for joining me on today's escapades and the ever-present Zero behind the scenes. Puts us all together. So
Yeah, Mr. Enigma in the background there. The pleasure's been all mine, Machine. It's been a really good cast of you, despite being a bit of a marathon session. I really do appreciate all of the love and support you guys have been showing to not only Mr. Bombastic and the StarLeague, but also just the scene in general. Let's keep this game and the scene alive for many years to come. Thanks, guys. Have a beautiful evening.